Good evening, Virgo. Uh, First, before anything else, I need to stop for a moment. Just breathe with me. Um, because I feel you out there. I feel the ones who have been sitting in silence, waiting for a sign, waiting for someone to say something that actually lands, something that feels real. I read your comments, every single one, the long ones, the short ones, the ones where you just type a single word because that's all you have the energy for. I see you. And to the ones who are new here, welcome. You didn't find this by accident. Something pulled you in, something whispered your name, and now you're here. So thank you from the deepest part of me. Thank you for showing up, for not giving up, for still believing that someone out there can see what you've been carrying. Now, let me tell you something that just came through so strongly that I almost had to stop and catch my breath. A private conversation about you just happened. Yes, you. And what was said in that conversation, you won't believe it. Not because it's dramatic in the way the world thinks of drama, not because someone confessed their undying love or promised you $1 million. No, it's deeper than that. It's the kind of conversation that changes things, the kind where words leave a mouth and the air in the room shifts, the kind that people don't forget. And it was about you. You felt something lately, haven't you? Something strange. Something you can't quite name. Maybe you've been restless. Maybe you've been waking up in the middle of the night for no reason. Maybe you've been thinking about someone or feeling like someone is thinking about you. That's not in your head. That's the echo of that conversation. Your soul has been picking up on it like a radio frequency that hasn't fully tuned in yet. You can't hear the words clearly, but you can feel the vibration. And the vibration is saying something has shifted. So let me tell you what was said. But first, I need you to understand something important. This reading is not here to make you obsessed. It's not here to make you check your phone every 5 minutes or replay old conversations looking for clues. No, this reading is here to wake you up, to remind you that you are not invisible, that people talk about you when you're not in the room. And sometimes what they say is exactly what you've been praying for. I pulled some energy before this recording, just a few cards, just to see what's moving. And what came through? It was loud. The energy of this private conversation is not small. It's not casual. It's the kind of conversation where someone finally let down their guard, where someone stopped pretending they don't care, where someone admitted something to another person that they haven't even admitted to themselves. Here's what was said. In that conversation, someone spoke about you with a tone that was almost soft. Not the fake softness people use when they want something, real softness, the kind that comes from a place of surprise. Like they didn't expect to feel what they feel. They said something like, I've been thinking about them more than I should, or there's something about them that I can't explain. And the person they were talking to, they didn't laugh. They didn't say you're crazy or get over it. They just sat there and listened, and then they said, I know, I've noticed it too. That's the part you won't believe, because you've spent so long feeling like no one notices you, like you're the one who always sees everyone else, but no one ever really sees you. But in that conversation, you were seen. Not the version of you that tries too hard. Not the version of you that dims your light to make others comfortable. The real you, the one who feels deeply, the one who has been through things and come out the other side, the one who still hopes even after being hurt. That's who they talked about. And they didn't even realize how powerful those words were. I need you to let that land. Just sit with it for a moment. Someone, somewhere, spoke about you like you mattered, like you were rare, like you were the kind of person they don't come across very often. And they said it to someone else first, not to you. Why? Because they're scared. Because they don't know what to do with what they're feeling. Because admitting it to you directly would make it real. And real is terrifying. So they tested it out. They whispered it to someone else just to see how it sounded in the air. And it sounded true. So now what? Now the universe takes over. Because once words are spoken, once energy is released, it doesn't just disappear. It moves. It grows. It finds its way to where it needs to go. And it's finding its way to you. That's why you feel different. That's why you've been feeling like something is coming. Not in a scary way. In a quiet way. Like the calm before something beautiful. I want to read something else I'm feeling here. There's been a situation in your life, maybe a person, maybe a group of people, where you felt like you were being judged, like you were being talked about in a way that didn't feel good. I feel that memory in your energy. It's old, but it left a mark. And because of that mark, you assume that when people talk about you behind your back, it's always bad, always critical, always hurtful. But this time, it's not. This time, the conversation was kind. It was admiring. It was confused in the most beautiful way. Confused because they don't understand how someone like you exists, how you can be so strong and still so soft, how you can walk away and still care, how you can be alone and still be whole. They don't understand you. And confusion, um, that confusion is turning into fascination. And fascination is the beginning of something very powerful. Let me ask you something, and don't overthink it. Have you noticed people treating you differently lately? Not everyone, just one or two. Maybe they're more careful around you. Maybe they stare a little too long. Maybe they find excuses to be near you. That's not coincidence. That's the ripple effect of that private conversation. Because words are not just words. Words are energy. And when someone speaks about you with that level of honesty, it changes the atmosphere around you. It changes how others perceive you. It changes how the universe moves on your behalf. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to chase. You don't have to prove. You don't have to be more or less or different. You just have to be here, being you. The same you they just spent an entire conversation trying to describe. And here's what else was said. In that private conversation, someone admitted that they admire something about you that they don't have. Maybe it's your courage, the way you keep going even when you want to give up. Maybe it's your honesty, the way you say what you mean even when your voice shakes. Maybe it's your presence, the way you walk into a room and something shifts. They mentioned that quietly, almost like they were confessing a secret. And the person they were talking to, they agreed so quickly it surprised them. Do you have any idea how rare that is? Do you have any idea how many people walk through life never being spoken about like that? And here you are, thinking you're forgettable. That breaks my heart a little. Because you are so far from forgettable. You are memorable in ways you don't even see. Let me tell you something else that came through. This private conversation, it's not the end. It's the beginning of a chain reaction. Because when people speak highly of you in private, especially when they don't know you, can hear them, the universe takes that as permission. Permission to move things, permission to open doors, permission to bring what was hidden into the light. So don't be surprised if in the coming days or weeks you start receiving signs, a text that feels out of nowhere, an apology you never asked for, an invitation that feels too perfect to be random. That's the conversation echoing into your reality. But here's the most important part. You are not waiting for them. You are not sitting by the window hoping they meant what they said. No, you are the person they spoke about with wonder in their voice. You are the person they admitted they were wrong about. You are the person who doesn't need to prove anything because the truth is already circulating without your help. That is power, and power doesn't chase, power attracts. So tonight, I want you to release the need to know every detail. Release the need to control how this unfolds. Release the need to figure out who said what and when and why, because the same universe that arranged for that private conversation to happen is the same universe that will bring the fruit of it to your doorstep when you're not even looking. Your only job is to stay in your energy, not theirs, not the situations, yours. And if you feel yourself slipping into doubt, come back to this moment. Come back to the fact that somewhere in a car, on a phone call, late at night, early in the morning, two people sat together and spoke about you like you mattered. Because you do. You always have. You just didn't know it until now. I feel something else here. Something soft. Something tender. I feel like you've been holding on to a story about yourself that isn't true anymore. A story that says you're too much or not enough. A story that says people only talk about you when they want something. A story that says you have to earn being seen. That story, it just got rewritten. Because in that private conversation, no one asked you to change. No one asked you to earn anything. No one asked you to be smaller or louder or different. They just saw you and they spoke about what they saw. And what they saw was beautiful. I want you to close your eyes for a moment, just for a few seconds. Imagine being in that room, not to spy, not to control, just to feel. Feel the energy of two people speaking about you with soft voices. Feel the honesty in the air. Feel the way they lean in when they say your name. That's real. That happened. And you don't need proof. You don't need a recording. You don't need someone to confirm it. Your soul already knows. That's why you clicked on this video. That's why you're still listening. That's why something in your chest feels lighter than it did 10 minutes ago. Let me ask you this just one time, and then we'll let it go. Does this resonate with what you've been feeling lately? That shift in the air, that strange sense that something changed, even though nothing on the outside looks different yet. If it does, just let it sit with you. You don't have to comment. You don't have to do anything. Just let yourself receive this. Because receiving is hard for you, isn't it? You're so good at giving, so good at showing up for others, so good at being strong. But when someone sees you, when someone speaks about you with that kind of tenderness, you don't know what to do with it. So here's what I want you to do. Nothing. Just breathe. Let the words land. Let the energy settle. Let yourself be seen without having to earn it. That's all. Now, let me tell you what happens next, energetically. That conversation created a crack in the wall, a crack between what was and what's coming. And through that crack, light is starting to pour in. Not dramatic light, not fireworks. Just a slow, steady glow. You might notice it in small ways. A stranger smiles at you longer than usual. A song comes on that makes you cry. A memory surfaces that doesn't hurt anymore. That's the light. That's the conversation working its way through your life. And here's the truth that no one else will tell you. You don't need that conversation to be repeated to your face. You don't need them to come forward and confess. You don't need anything from them at all. Because the moment those words were spoken, they became yours, not theirs, yours. You own the energy of being seen. You own the truth that someone out there finally gets it. You own the shift that's already happening inside you. And that is more powerful than any confession. So where do you go from here? Nowhere. You stay right where you are, grounded, calm, aware. You stop looking over your shoulder for proof. You stop waiting for the other shoe to drop. You just live. You wake up tomorrow and you drink your coffee. You go about your day. You laugh at something stupid. You cry if you need to. And underneath all of it, you carry this quiet knowing. Someone spoke about you like you were rare, and they were right. You are. I want to leave you with this. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not too much or not enough. You are the person someone just spoke about, like a quiet miracle they almost missed. And whether they ever tell you directly or not, that truth is already working in your favor. The energy has shifted. The conversation has been had. Now you just have to let it land. So take a breath, a real one. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften. You don't have to figure anything out tonight. You just have to know deep in your bones that you were seen. And that seeing, it changes everything. I'm grateful for you, truly. Not because you watched this video, not because you support me, because you exist, because you're still here, because you haven't given up on the part of you that believes in magic, that part. It's not naive. It's not foolish. It's the most real thing about you. And someone just noticed it. So go rest now. Go be with yourself. Go drink some water and stare at the ceiling and let your mind be quiet. You've done enough. You are enough. And that private conversation, it's already working. I'll see you in the next one.